This summer, I had the incredible opportunity to dive into the electrifying world of batteries, solar energy, and electric vehicles. Along the way, I discovered some shocking truths that might just light up your understanding of the industry. Today, what I want to do is share the top 5 misconceptions that the general consumer doesn't understand about the world of electricity. Let's start with misconception number 1: power versus energy. What does power mean and how is it different from energy? Understanding the difference between these two is especially crucial in the world of electricity and batteries. Power, measured in base unit watts, tells us how fast energy is being used or produced at any given moment. On the other hand, energy, measured in watt hours or kilowatt hours, tells us the amount of work done or electricity consumed over time. One way to process this is as if power is the derivative and energy is the integral, as shown here. However, another practical example that helps solidify my understanding of power versus energy is this. If you use a 1 kilowatt stove for 1 hour, you consume 1 kilowatt hour of energy. If you use a 2 kilowatt stove for half an hour, you also consume 1 kilowatt hour of energy. When it comes to batteries, we often hear about both power rating and energy capacity. For example, an X kilowatt battery refers to its power output, how quickly it can deliver energy at any given moment. It can also have an energy capacity of Y kilowatt hours, which is how much total energy it can store. This means that understanding both power and energy helps us know how energy consumption and storage are calculated, and why managing both power and energy is crucial in this industry. It's also crucial for customers to learn the difference between the two, to understand the nuances to their energy consumption. Next is deregulation. Deregulation isn't an unfamiliar concept. I'm sure many people understand it, as I did, in a different context. Deregulation sounds like a free-for-all, right? Anyone can just set up any energy company and do whatever they want. However, deregulation is much more structured than that. Before learning about this, I, like many people, thought that getting electricity was as simple as flipping a switch. Some magical company out there just provided the electricity to make this light go on. But the reality is that it's much more complex and interesting. Let's break it down. Think of it like ordering a pizza. You can choose your favorite toppings and customize the pizza however you like. This is similar to choosing your energy provider in a deregulated market. You have the freedom to select from different companies offering various plans and rates. But even though you choose your pizza toppings, the pizza still needs to be delivered to you. In the same way, regardless of which energy provider you choose, the delivery of electricity to your home is managed by a utility company that maintains the power lines and the infrastructure. This utility company is responsible for the safe and reliable transmission of electricity, much like the pizza delivery guy who shows up at your door. So, in a deregulated market, the energy provider and the energy transporter are different entities. The provider generates or sells the electricity, while the utility company delivers it to your home. This separation allows for more competition among the providers, which can lead to better rates and services for consumers. This also means that consumers need to be more informed about their choices. They need to understand the different offers by various providers to make the best decision for their needs. It's not just about flipping a switch anymore. It's about making informed choices and understanding the different players in the market. Let's move on to misconception number 3: understanding electric bills. Many people, including me before this summer, think that an electricity bill is simply a statement showing how much electricity we use. I spoke to my parents and other general consumers about their electricity bills, and they were surprised to learn that it's not just about the total usage. It's also not just a straightforward calculation based on how much electricity you consume. In reality, it's made up of several different charges, each with its own purpose. So it's not just that single number representing your consumption, it's also a combination of different components. Let's break these down. Here's a closer look at some of the other main charges you'll find on your bill. The first one is the capacity charge. These charges cover the cost of ensuring the availability or presence of electricity so that the system can handle peak demand. It's like paying for the readiness of the power grid, not just the actual electricity consumed. The next are demand charges. These charges are based on the highest level of electricity demand you place on the grid during a billing period. It's like paying for the peak moments when your usage is the highest. The next are transmission charges, and these are the costs associated with transporting electricity from power plants to your home. It includes the maintenance and operation of the transmission lines and equipment. So your bill isn't just a single charge based on how much electricity you've used. It's a combination of different components, each playing a role in ensuring you have a reliable supply of electricity. Understanding these different charges helps to truly understand the bill and shows that there's more going on behind the scenes than just measuring how much electricity you've consumed. Now that we can understand that there are different charges, how are they calculated and how can you decrease them? The good news is that you can decrease them, and at certain times you can decrease them significantly. Demand charges are calculated based on your highest consumption rate during the work period, multiplied by the demand rate. Reducing peak demand through peak shaving can lower this charge, but it might require significant changes in operations and can save some money, but not as much as focusing on other parts of the bill, such as the capacity charges. These are calculated through peak load contributions, which are determined by your consumption during the highest demand hour of the grid. Usage during these peak hours is then averaged over 5 different peak days to calculate the capacity charge. Transmission charges are also calculated in a similar way. Through IG's important calculations, we are able to decrease these charges. By controlling the energy consumption during these peak hours, based around our predictions, IG is able to decrease these costs substantially. If you would have asked me to explain how to decrease your electric bill prior to my experience here at IG, I would have thought that the only way to decrease your electric bill would be to use less energy, which of course is one way to do it, but nobody wants to live in the dark without air conditioning. But as I have learned, the reality is that there's actually more strategy behind it based on understanding the way these costs are calculated. For misconception number 5, we'll be entering a bit of a different world, the world of green thinking in electric vehicles. When I first heard about them, I thought they were the perfect answer for pollution caused by combustion engines. To me, they are like magic, totally green. No pollution, no impact on the environment. But as I learned more about electricity, I began to question my perceptions. If electric vehicles need electricity to run, how much greener than traditionally gas-powered vehicles are they actually? Electric vehicles are indeed greener than combustion engines because they are more efficient in how they use energy. When you charge the battery that powers an EV, most of that electricity will go directly into propelling the car. In the long run, this means that a higher percentage of the energy from the grid is used effectively for driving. Whereas in gas-powered vehicles, I was shocked to find out how inefficient they were. When I was asked how much of the gas that you fuel your car is actually used to move it, I answered perhaps 70%. However, I learned it's actually about 30% of the fuel's energy that actually reaches the wheels, less than half, which is an astonishingly inefficient number. There are also other benefits of using electric vehicles that I hadn't originally thought of. For instance, the reduction of pollution in the immediate vicinity of usage. Gas-powered cars drive around towns and cities that people immediately inhabit, burning fossil fuels into the air that the community breathes, whereas electric vehicles operate without emitting harmful pollutants, creating a cleaner and healthier environment for everyone in the area. Electricity generation can produce pollution. These emissions are concentrated at power plants, which are usually located away from densely populated areas, reducing the immediate health impact on communities. Of course, EVs aren't perfect. They still require a significant amount of energy to produce the battery. However, the long-term effects are evident. And these are the 5 misconceptions that I thought were biggest to general consumers before learning about the fields of electricity. I hope these taught you some things like they taught me along my journey here at IG. Thank you for listening.